A very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is the lecture for the subject Banking, Insurance and Financial Services. What we did in the last lecture, I just want to brief out in short that in the last lecture we have started with the unit number 1, that is the Introduction to Banking. Before starting the topic of the today, I just want to say that you may receive the information about the admission process here. So just pick the admission without fail. Now start with a big topic of the day that we have started with the unit number 1 of the introduction of banking. In that,
we discussed the meaning of banker and the meaning of banking. That banker is a person who undertakes the business of banking. If any person doing the business of banking, so that person will be called as a banker. Then we discussed about the meaning of banking. Banking means accepting the deposit from public for the purpose of lending and investing, and that deposit will be repayable to the customer on demand or otherwise means after the maturity period in case of FD. And that type of deposit will be withdrawable by check, draft, order, etc. Then we discussed about the meaning of customer. How can you say that you are a customer of a bank? Generally, the mentality of a person is that if I am having an account with bank, then I am the customer of a bank. But according to the Mr. Sir John Peasett, who is the father of the banking, he says that to be a customer of a bank, there must be 3 conditions should be fulfilled. First thing, you must be having an account. Second thing, you are operating your account. And the third very important thing, the operation of account must be your habit. Means you are operating your account in a certain time interval or in a regular basis. So the definition is, you can see on the screen, to constitute a customer, there must be some recognizable course of habit of dealing in nature of regular banking business. So if you are doing or if you are banking business or if you are operating your account on a regular basis, then only you are a customer of a bank, otherwise not. Then we started with the topic types of relationship, and we discussed this topic in introduction part of our syllabus also, and in this chapter also. As we discussed, banker customer relationship is bifurcated into 2 categories, general and special. Your chapter number 1 is related with the general relationship between banker and customer. And we are going to discuss about the special relationship in chapter number 2. We started the topic in the last lecture, general relationship between banker and customer. As you can see on the screen, the subpoints are given. Debtor-creditor relationship, banker as an agent of a customer, banker as a bailee of a customer, banker as an advisor of a customer, banker as a leaser and leasee of a customer, and banker as an executor of a customer. So in what circumstances these types of relationship were established between the banker and customer, we are going to discuss in this topic. Okay, so we have started with the first topic, debtor-creditor relationship, as we already discussed in the last lecture. Creditor and debtor relationship we are going to discuss first. Here, relationship between the customer who is having a deposit account with the banker. Suppose you deposit your money with the banker. Clear? At the time of depositing of money means you are giving your amount to the banker. So you are the depositor and banker is the acceptor. So depositor is the lender, means depositor is the creditor and the banker is the borrower. Depositor is the creditor and the banker is a debtor. Of course, yes, you are going to deposit your money, means you are giving your money to the banker. So you are lender and you are creditor and you are lender. Anybody you can choose, lender or creditor, and the banker is the borrower or debtor. I hope this is very simple to understood. Okay, the money handed over to the bank is known as the debt. Okay? If the banker customer relationship, if the creditor debtor relationship is established between any party, there must be a debt. Then only the parties are able to become the debtor and creditor. So in that circumstances, what is debt? When you are depositing your money with the banker, in that condition, the amount handed over by you to the bank is known as the debt. The money once deposited in the bank becomes the money of the bank. Okay? Once you deposit your money to the banker, it becomes the money of the banker. Means this money is going to repay you at the time of demand only. If you are not going to demand, the money is idle with the banker. The banker is free to use the money. The banker can invest your money at somewhere. The banker can lend your money to someone else. But it is the duty of a banker to give it back to you as per your demand. Then opposite, here we discuss the creditor and debtor. Then opposite, debtor and creditor. Clear? When as a customer you are availing the loan, you are getting the advance from the customer. Suppose you have taken a loan or you are enjoying the facility of bank overdraft. In that situation, as a customer, you are debtor and banker is the creditor. Clear? Since the funds are lent to the customer, he become the borrower and the banker become the lender. The relationship between the bank debtor-creditor relationship, the customer begin with the debtor and the banker begin with the creditor. Just you have to remember one thing here. Don't be confused. Just you have to remember one thing. As a customer, just keep in mind we are talking about the customer's point of view. As a customer, when you become the debtor and you become the creditor, so whenever you are depositing the money, at that time you are the creditor, and whenever you are accepting the loan or getting the advance from the bank, at that time you are the debtor. I hope it is clear. Okay, if we are talking about the point of view of banker, from the banker side, if we think, then at that time the banker is accepting the deposit, the banker become the debtor. And at that time banker is lending you the money, the banker become the creditor. The next sub point is banker as an agent of a customer. When the banker become your agent. Clear? So here, if banker become your agent, the customer become the principal. Now, according to the section number 182 of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines an agent as a person who employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealing with the third party. Now, what do you mean by agent? The definition of agent is given in the first paragraph, that the person who is appointed to do some of the activity in behalf of other, that person is known as the agent. The person for whom such act is done or who is so represented is called the principal. I hope it is very simple. Who is the agent? The person who is appointed to do some of the activities in behalf of the next party, that person will be the agent. And the person in behalf of whom the activity is done is known as the principal. Okay, now just think if when the banker is going to perform some of the duties in behalf of us, so of course yes, banker is going to collect the money from you in behalf of you. Banker will pay the bill and other instruments. Banker will also buy and sell the securities in behalf of the customer. Clear? Banker will pay your rent, your telephone bill, your insurance premium every monthly, quarterly, as per the instruction given by you to your banker. So if the instruction pass on by you to the banker that every month you have to cut rupees 10,000 as an installment from my account and you have to pay to some party, the banker will do this activity in behalf of you. At that time, the banker is called the agent and you are the principal. I hope it is very simple. The next, banker as a bailee of a customer. Now, you may be aware about the word bailee or you may not be aware about the word bailee. Just let us discuss. The bailee is a party. Bailee and bailer, they are two parties of the Bailment Act. Am I clear? Okay, bailee means whenever double E is there, bailee means banker. Bailer means customer. Clear? Whenever in the last of any word OR or ER is there, generally that word is related with the customer. Again, I am repeating, just focus on the spelling of bailer. In the last, you will find OR. Whenever in most of the words, whenever OR or ER is there, that word is used for customer. And bailee means banker. So before understood the meaning of bailee and banker, it is compulsory that we must be aware about the definition of bailment, because bailee and bailer are the parties of bailment. Now just focus on the second paragraph. According to the section number 148 of Indian Contract Act 1872, a bailment is the delivery of goods by one party to another for some purpose upon a contract that they shall, when the purpose is according to the direction of a person delivering them. Just break down the definition into the parts so you are able to understand in a better way. The bailment is a contract between two parties where one party will deliver the goods to the next party. Okay, suppose I am having a car. I pass on the possession of the car to my friend. Clear? Why I pass on the possession? The purpose is that my friend want to use that car. So of course there must be a person, then only it is known as the bailment. Here, as after fulfilling of that purpose, suppose I am going outside, out of town for 1 month, and I want to safeguard my car. Clear? So I pass on the possession to my friend that just keep my car at your home and do the safety arrangement and all. So what is the purpose? Safety is the purpose. I pass on the possession of my car to my friend for the safety. Whenever I come back to my town and the purpose is fulfilled, now I am able to safeguard my car by my own also. Yes, now it is the duty of my friend to pass on the possession of that car again to me. Means bailment is a act where delivery of goods by one person to another person must be for a specific purpose. When the purpose is fulfilled, then the possession of that property should be given back again to the owner. I hope it is clear. Yes? Okay. So next example, suppose a person want to use any electronic gadget. Suppose here nowadays e-lectures are there. So if a person want the facility of a laptop for just for 2 months and the person want to borrow the laptop. So he may ask for his friend, he or she may ask for his friend to borrow the laptop and the person is ready to pay 10,000 rupees monthly in exchange of using that laptop. So what is the purpose here? The purpose here that you wants to use that laptop for 2 months, and after the 2 months, as your purpose is completed, then again you have to pass on the possession of that laptop to your friend. The person delivering the goods is called the bailer. Clear? The person who is the real owner of the goods is the bailer, and the person to whom the goods are delivered is called the bailee. Clear? For a particular purpose जिसको भी आप अपनी property दे रहे हो, that second party will be known as the bailee. I hope it is clear. The real owner is known as the bailer and the person to whom the goods are delivered is known as the bailee. Okay, now just if the definition part is clear about the bailer and bailee, just think that when the banker become bailee and you become bailer, yeah, when you as the owner pass on the possession of your property to the banker, आप अपनी property banker को कब देते हो? So generally you are passing your property for two purpose. Generally, if you are having any locker, then you kept your asset, you kept your jewelry in your locker. So you are going to pass the possession of your property to in the hands of a banker. And second thing, the most common example is about loan. Yes, whenever you want to take a loan, you have to give the security, and in exchange of that security, you might transfer the possession of your property papers, the possession of your valuables, your bonds, your jewelries. Yes, gold loan is the very famous here. You have to pass the possession of your jewelries to banker to get the amount. At that time, what is the purpose? You require money and banker requires security. Whenever you pass the possession of your jewelry to banker, you are the real owner of the jewelry. आपकी jewelry है, तो you are the bailor, and the banker is known as the bailor. Okay, what is the specific purpose here? यहाँ पे objective क्या था? You require a loan and banker require the security. As soon as you paid the loan amount with interest, जैसे ही आपने loan amount दे दी, now there is no need of security. The purpose is fulfilled. Now this is the duty of a banker to give your property back. Clear? And one more important thing here, banker cannot use your property as per the wish. The purpose is just the security. Banker को क्यों चाहिए property? The banker require the security. So the banker can use that property only as a security. The banker cannot use your property somewhere else. At that time, the relationship between banker and customer is about the bailee and bailor. The next point, banker as an advisor of a customer. When bankers give you advice, कब देता है banker आपको advice? तो सबसे पहले condition किसको देता है? The banker किसको देता है advice? The banker will provide the advice to the person who is the customer of a bank, but also to the person who is not the customer of a bank. तो अब जो person customer ही नहीं है उसको banker advice क्यों देगा? Of course, in exchange of commission, the banker is going to get the commission. So banker will give the advice to the person who is the customer of a bank and to the person who is not the customer of a bank. Okay. Now the question arises: advice should be about what? किसके लिए advice देगा? तो the banker will give you the advice about the investment. When the customer wants to invest the money in shares, debentures of various companies and other securities, then the banker acts as advisor to its customer. The banker will also purchase the shares and debentures of the right company in behalf of the customer. Clear? When the banker gives such type of advice to the customer, the customer become at the time the customer become the advisee and the banker become the advisor. Okay. Now just remember one thing here, the third line written on the PPT slide, that the final decision is left with the customer. Suppose the advice is given by the banker that the shares of XYZ company is very profitable, you have to purchase the share, there is a high chances to increase the price in your future. So this is just an advice. Whether you want to purchase the share or not, the final decision is with you, in the hand of you as a customer. You are not bound to follow the advice. Are you able to understand? The advice is given by the banker to the customer. You must take the advice in exchange of commission, but you are not bound to follow the advice. आपको सही लगता है तो you can purchase the share, नहीं लगता है तो you can just deny. Here the final decisions are in the hand of the customers only. The next, banker as a leaser and leasee of a customer. When the leaser-leasee relationship established between the banker and customer. So before discussing the leaser and leasee, these are the two parties of lease. So just make yourself very clear about the definition of lease. According to the section number 105 of Transfer of Property Act 1882, a lease of immovable property is a transfer of right to enjoy such property made for a certain time, expressed or implied or in perpetuity in consideration of a price paid or promise or of money, a share or crop. The examples are given here. Okay, what do you mean by lease? Just I am explaining the definition in a simple word. Lease means transfer your property to the next party. Again, I am repeating, transferring of your property to the next party in exchange of consideration. Here, consideration are installment for a certain period of time. We focus here. The time period is important here. The next party will give back your property to you after a particular time period. Here means suppose as a customer आप किसी और की property use कर रहे हैं, in exchange of using that property, what you are doing, you are just paying the installments every monthly for a particular time period. As a customer, suppose you want to use a particular machinery in your business, तो आपने उसे lease पे ले लिया for 10 years. Okay, for the 10 years you have to pay the charges of that lease. If you remember with the balance sheet, so in the balance sheet asset side, we are writing the leasehold property. Yes, leasehold property. So you become the, why we are writing on the asset side? Suppose I have taken a machinery to use for 10 years on lease. So up to the 10 years, I am the owner as a customer. Clear? And after the completion of that 10 years, again the property should be given back to the real owner. After the completion of the time period, now I am not the owner. Are you able to understand? 10 साल के लिए मैंने कोई प्रॉपर्टी या कोई मशीनरी ली to use in my business, so I am the owner for 10 years only. After the completion of 10 years, the real owner will become the owner again. Okay, but it is not free of cost. I have to pay, and that payment is known as the lease installments. Okay, now just for try to make the concept clear कि when as a customer you are using the property of bank, आप बैंक की property कब use करते हो? तो of course we are using the locker facility. Yes, the real owner of that locker is banker. Just what we are doing, we are using that locker. Yes, and in exchange of using that locker, what we are doing, we have to pay the locker charges. Yes or not? Of course, yes. So in that case, whenever you are using the locker facility of a bank, in that case, the banker is leasee and as a customer, you are leaser. I hope it is clear. Next is the banker as an executor of the customer. When banker becomes the executor. Okay. When a person dies after doing the will, if the will is prepared by the person before death, then the name written on that will, that person will become the executor. किसी ने अपनी will बनाई है, suppose he pass on all the rights to his son. Then after the death of that particular person, his son will become the executor. उसकी जितनी भी property होगी उसे execute करने का right किसके पास होगा? उसके बेटे के पास. Why? Because the person prepared the will and he passed on all the rights to the son. But suppose if a person dies without preparing the will, then what? कोई will बनाए बिना ही मर गया तो क्या? In that case, the court will appoint a person to look after the property. Be focus here. ये executor कब आता है? When the person dies without preparing the will. In that situation, the court will appoint a person to look after all the properties of that person. This person is known as the administration or the executor. Clear? Or this person is known as the administrator or the executor. Sometimes the banker obtains the right to do some work of the customer. Yeah, at that time the banker is the executor. What is the actual duty of the executor? This work includes the collection of dividend or share, collection of interest. In this case, as per the written things of the banker, act as an attorney. Attorney, you may be familiar with the word attorney, power of attorney. Yeah? So if the power of attorney is prepared by the person, So the whose name is written will become the owner, will become the executor. But if power of attorney is not prepared by the person or will is not prepared by the person, in that case, court will appoint a person, and that person is the executor. And generally, this function will be performed by a highly experienced banker. Yeah, if a banker is very experienced in the field of settlement of the property, so that type of a banker will appoint by a court to look after the property of the person who dies. And the banker will decide that who become the executor after that person. The banker will pay all the liabilities according to the priority to all the parties, and the banker will collect all the pending dues from the parties. After settlement of all the liabilities and dues, whatever balance left, banker will decide that who will become the owner of that asset. I hope it is clear. At that time, banker become the executor of customer. Why? Because banker execute your property in behalf of you. So this is the end of the banker customer general relationship.